Hi, I'm back. Alrighty. Greetings, Earthlings. How you feeling? Okay, this one is gonna be about my favorite album that came out this year, I guess. Because, there's obviously a lot of stuff that I listened to that is released a few years ago, 10 years ago, and so on. But, it's gonna basically be out of the albums that came out within this year. Because I honestly don't get a lot of new albums. It's like, I don't know. I just always get like older stuff because I just get into so many different groups and bands and artists and just in general. And I just listen to stuff that's a little older or a lot older sometimes depending on what, I feel like listening to. But anyway, it's probably out of the year, because it's one of the only albums I think I even got that is like new for the year 2015, which is almost over in a few days. But yeah, anyway, it's probably from the band Silverstein. It's called, oh shit, I probably should have remembered what the name of the album was. I'm Alive in Everything I Touch. There we go. Okay. That was so that was the album that came out. The release track for it came out. Really don't know when it did, honestly. Probably I would say a few months before the album did. But just the way that just music in general is now, like releasing of songs is almost not even an issue at this point, because it's so easy to just listen to everything, not just to like be legally listening to it, but it's just in general. Like if they leak it on YouTube, that's it. Like it's on there. If somebody leaks it, even if it's only a few days before, like people could probably know about it a lot faster nowadays than ever before. Even though on the actual, legit sites that you can actually listen to music on and stuff, like streaming sites and stuff like that, they still release them, I think, like on, the official dates they're supposed to be out and everything. But it's just a crazy time for all this technology and everything like that for the music industry. But I am out of the people that I know, I'm one of the few people that actually still buy CDs. And that's one of the CDs I got this year, and it came out this year. They came out like around May something, middle of May. In May. That's funny. But, it's a really good album. The type of music, if you don't know the band at all, they started out, I would say probably when they started out, they were a little bit heavier. It's like post-hardcore / screamo, which if you don't know that type of music, it's like, it's like, using screams is almost like a separate voicing or instrument incorporated in with the lyrical content, and like accentuating what they want to say by screaming it. And they get the post-hardcore just from having like heavier riffs and just the way they orchestrate their music, and just that's what gives that whole post-hardcore feel. And the band, especially earlier on, was very much into harmonics and just kind of being more like introspective, just as far as the band goes, especially for a hard rock band like that, or post-hardcore, whatever kind of, wherever you would want to put them in. But they're definitely post-hardcore. They're probably one of the only or first bands that I would put in for that genre. And there's definitely other ones that fit the mold very well, but they do that style of music very good. It doesn't really, they kind of have breakdowns. Like the earlier songs definitely have like actual, like, here, this is it, legit breakdowns in some of their songs. But there's no like double bass in it with the whole rhythm guitar. That is not what that band does at all. But so I guess earlier on, yeah, they did have breakdowns and everything like that, but it wasn't like, not to the extent of like what you would hear as like, oh, okay, this is the breakdown. Like that, not to that extent, but they did have breakdowns like earlier on. But this album, I don't really think had like an actual what you would consider to have like a breakdown or whatever. But it doesn't matter because it's still really good. It still fucking rocks, and it's just it fucking kicks ass, and it's awesome. So all right, that's kind of like the background of the band. If you didn't know who they were, hopefully some of the people that watch this actually know them, and that would be cool. And if not, then you just learned something. You see? Whoa. Okay, that was just way too like. Yeah, that was scary. Anyway, so the album, I'm Alive in Everything I Touch, starts off with what is it? The Toronto abridged or something. It's just like an intro, and the second song. See, I don't really remember all songs. I really should have been more prepared for this, but I mean, I think the chorus goes, "So lay me down in the field, and cover the trees in the warm grass," or something like that, "where they won't find me." It's like that's what they call it post-hardcore, because it has like a lot of like melodic singing, but it's still like heavy rock riffs and stuff like that too. So that's why it's like both, but it's still on the other side of not having all the heavy breakdowns and the heavy riffs with the double bass in unison. So that's why it's still like grouped in with its own, in its own group like that. So, but yeah, the like I said, it was Milestone was the actual title track, the beginning track for that album, and oh man, it was like. And honestly, I listened to that album like when I was like obviously when I first got it, and it's like I really was like that could be like the memories of when I was listening to it, because that's like when I first got it, started listening to it, and that was like the only album I was listening to at a certain point. It was during a time when it was just there was a lot going on, and it was good stuff going on, and it was just it just fit what was going on absolutely 150%. And there's one song, I don't even know how to say it, but I think it was the second to last. The other one is that the Toronto unabridged one, and that's the acoustic, and it goes like okay, you can kind of grasp that. Alrighty, so but yeah, the one song on there before that, number 11, I know the track number at least, so that's good. And oh man, it fit what was going on, at that time. So that's pretty cool. It goes a little something like, okay, I remember your face from the moment I first saw you and never looked away. I never forget how that shit. How's the rest go? Oops. Oh yeah, I remember your face when you told me we could never be together. Oh wait, I remember that Saturday. That's what it was. I remember that Saturday when you told me we could never be together, and I could never change. And I would never change, or could never change. I think it's could never change. So yeah, you know my style of making videos. I don't, I just fucking say shit, and I'm not like gonna be so prepared to that point. So whatever. I mean, I'd rather be that way, because at least people will actually be like, wow, at least he's actually being himself with all this bullshit. Yeah, it goes, I think I remember now. It's like, I remember your face from the moment I first saw you and never looked away. I'll never forget how you looked that Saturday when you told me we could never be together and I could never change. I think that's how it goes. But yeah, it's that. Oh man, that is such a good song. Such a good song. and it is accompanied with, you know, like growling, screaming vocals, you know, for the verse. So that's just how that band is. You know, they're definitely original. And there's a lot of bands that do music like that you know, incorporate that style, the whole screamo and screamcore or whatever. That's, I guess, why they just call it post-hardcore. They just had to give a name to it, so they did. And, but yeah, that was a great album. For that time, I could definitely have, like, the memories of that time, not just from, you know, remembering it, but I have the music to go along with it, of that, like, time frame of whatever, like, when I was first started listening to it. Because you gotta remember, like, when I listen to other music, a lot of it is stuff that I've just been listening to for years. So if I stop listening to it, then I could kind of have the memories of when I started listening to it. But it's like, if you constantly listen to it, you gotta, I don't know how that works. I know definitely that's an album that would be from that time frame of within this year. So that's just cool, you know. And it, you know, came out this year, so that's definitely got to be out of the albums that came out this year. It might be the only one I got that came out in 2015. I really don't know. I know I buy a lot of, like, music that doesn't come out, like, new, as you would say, or whatever, but it's just, it's a really great album. It's definitely one of those albums you could go from, you know, you know, the beginning to the end without skipping and all that kind of shit. And, you know, I know we live in a time where people don't really have that luxury of doing that. A lot of people don't even really listen to whole albums anyway nowadays, at all. And it's just the way that goes. But, I mean, whatever. It's a great album. I recommend it to anybody that is even, like, casually into rock music. It's awesome. Especially if you're into all the, like, different styles of rock, not just, like, you know, straight ahead, like, hard rock, or not just straight ahead metal, because it's not really metal anyway. But alrighty, well, cool story. Card ran out. I'm definitely gonna have to get at least a 16 gig. I have like an 8 gig and a 4 gig, but it's really annoying to constantly have to change it. Probably time for a new camera anyway, just altogether, because I mean, the camera is very good at, like, actually taking pictures, but for videos, not so much. It could be a lot better, but whatever. Quality, you know, the actual quality of the videos are still good. It's just, like, a little bit more mechanical stuff could be better, but whatever. Alrighty, well, I just wanted to wrap this one up. I definitely recommend that album from Silverstein, and I'm gonna sound like a promoter with all this, I guess, to a certain extent. Nobody really needs promotion anymore. I mean, honestly, they know very few people are going to actually buy CDs. That's why there are, like, hardly any record stores anymore, which is just such a travesty. It really is. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I'm not even, like... I probably can make a whole video on that, but... yeah, anyway. But yeah, it's definitely got to be the, you know, favorite album of this past year that came out, and, you know, just figured I'd share that with you guys, and that's about it. I will see you when I see you.